Eat
Three,
babies.
two. Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Aimless Babbie Z, episode 280. I'm Ticketmaster, joined by.
RPG Main Echo 5.
And Traptical.
See what you've been playing. I have no idea what else, and that'll be that in this
Yeah,
late,
aimless.
later than usual episode.
It's all Tropical's fault.
Oh. It
Wow.
was not my day.
Um, have either of you played any Destiny? Because I can just like start with the Destiny and
I did.
because I didn't see you on RPG. Well, I guess I was like incapacitated for like a day and a half because I had like a terrible headache. So I just like laid down, and I was not playing anything. But besides that, I was totally.
I don't think you were on when I was on.
Oh,
So
there's that too. So did you play the new stuff?
some of it. I didn't there's no matchmaking for Prison of Elders, so I haven't played the
There
other
was for
ones.
the lowest difficulty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's like
28.
three other difficulties though. So yeah, I haven't played any of those, and those are the ones that actually give you the stuff you need. So yeah,
Did you play the story stuff?
I did.
What
With my Hunter and my Titan anyway.
hmm. Did you enjoy the Vault of Glass part?
No.
Did you enjoy any of it?
So I was like, hey, what are we doing here? Oh, look, we have to kill oracles again. Didn't miss this. So that was fun. Right up until it wasn't.
They were way weaker.
They were. Thankfully, there were not waves of them because I'd be like, yep, not finishing this mission. So just gonna, yeah, the worst, the worst. But no, it was fine. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular. I don't. I mean, the boss guy, whoever the hell I forgot his name, but that guy, the one you capture or whatever,
Skullus.
his plan wasn't very well thought out, like at all. He was doomed to fail. He was doomed to fail. So yeah, he is terrible.
It was weird. I was playing someone on my friends list that hasn't played through the whole first part of the game where you beat the three giant statue thingies at the end. They haven't
Hmm.
done that part, and I was helping them with the story, and we were doing the part with the Awoken, and it's interesting because like even that part when you meet the Queen and the Reef for the time, like the
The hour-long cutscene.
yeah, like the part with the super long cutscenes is like they have those gun-shaped ships, and like I didn't notice it at first, but then like when I go back, I'm like, oh, so those ships are always there. Interesting. At the Awoken
Once again, they did not actually make new stuff.
Shh, we don't know that, Tropical. We don't know that.
Yeah, I was actually very surprised that they didn't drop PS3 and 360, and apparently they're not going to for quite a while. And I'm just like, so
So the
Tell
Taken
we're
me I'm
King,
not
stuck
getting
with
any more
this.
vault space.
the Taken King is on those consoles too.
Yep.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, like when you look at the Taken King's enemies, they are
Repurposed.
the
old
same
ones.
enemies, except they have
Glowy.
like effects on them and
Yeah.
they do different stuff.
that makes
Which, I mean, like the different behavior, I guess, is the important part. But then, on the other hand, it's just like, well, do they have to be the same ones? And apparently the answer is yes, because we must continue to support
I think it's
old gen
I think it's
consoles.
more Activision's fault than it is Bungie's, though, because they probably would have dropped support by now if they had the opportunity to. And Activision's
Mm,
like, no, money,
maybe.
because we have multiple consoles. So, no, no, money, money. I did like the Shanks with the sniper rifles on them, though, because they're adorable.
Mm.
Still useless, but they're adorable. 'Cause it's like, yeah, this is just like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is supposed to make them tougher, but I mean, I guess it's a good college try by the Fallen, trying to do something, I guess. But yeah,
So many different shanks.
the exploding ones are kind of annoying because they like to like sneak up on
Yes,
me.
they are.
They're a lot better at stealth than I am. That's for sure. Considering it's like, where did you come from? So they are not fun. So it's like, you guys. But yeah, that Solus guy, he did not think this plan through at all. So he was bound to fail. So yeah, good job with him. They, they need better villains or smarter ones or something.
Mhm.
Because
Should have done my plan. You
I know,
change
right?
the past, then you've already won in the future. Do that. But he was
He's
like,
like,
no, we're gonna
I'm just
fight
like
it
summon
here
every.
when
It's like,
we've lost like so badly.
yeah, his logic was not. Yeah, he did not have good logic, and it hurt him. And I was like, haha, you were doomed to fail because this is a terrible idea to begin with. I mean, think about it. If only three guardians can like run waves of hundreds of things, I mean, come on, come on. You think bringing them to us is gonna help? That's just bringing them. It's like bringing a cow to the slaughterhouse. It's like, yep, just gonna go ahead and start mass producing my burgers then because you just brought me the murder meat. So it's like, yeah, he did not think that plan through at all. And I guess that's why they became the Fallen to begin with, because they're idiots and they don't think these things through before it's too late. So yeah, but I haven't gotten a chance to do the trials either because I didn't know when it started, and then I
It
mean,
was
since
not the
nobody was
weekend.
on, I was like I couldn't play, so I was like, oh well, I guess I won't be doing this either. So I haven't done like the other Prison of Elder stuff and Trials of Osiris stuff either. So yeah, I couldn't get any cool stuff.
I think I'm almost ready to take another break though, or just go back to playing it on Tuesdays because all the stuff I need, I don't really need anything. I just want a Necrochasm, and that's from a raid,
Why?
and then just to have it, 'cause you can only
So
get it from Dakota, and then I have all the water glass stuff, and I have all the credit stuff except for the Necrochasm, and then I find all the Prison of Elder stuff kind of useless. So outside, like, because it only buffs you when you're in Prison of Elders. And if you play PVE and you're not there, and it's like, well,
some of it looks cool though.
aesthetics don't matter. I'm kind of moving towards back to the aesthetics don't matter. I mean, I have this cool helmet with my hunter, but and my Titan. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is taking up space. Space is valuable, more valuable than a cool looking helmet. Dismantle. So
Check in,
yeah, vault
pretty
space is limited,
stuff.
and something's gonna have go on the
Although the
chopping
Iron
block
Banner
sooner or
did,
later. So
I just realized the Iron Banner was this week because no one's told me,
man,
and I was like, oh no,
actually
and I kind of want those chess pieces. So
I was trying to play, and
Iron Banner
then
is this
I
week.
kept getting Anteater
it
error,
is.
and I got it 3 times in a row, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play some Batman. So I was like, Destiny, I wanted to play you, but you were stopping me from having fun, so it could not
I,
be.
yeah, I played with my hunter for the first time in Iron Banner, so I was like, oh, okay, this should be different. And we won our first few games, but it's like then I remembered it's going to be a grind to get
Yeah,
up the ranks. So I was like, crap. And the chess pieces are or rank 4. I was like, that's going to take forever.
yeah. My goal
But
this week is basically just get a level a day with each character, and then hopefully I'll have enough thingies by the end. And then
Well, I'm only
also I need to get the emblem
Titan.
and the
So
shader because I keep having to switch it and it's just annoying to do that. So I just get one. Because right now every character has a thorn, which is my go-to weapon in PvP. So it's like if I just get the shader and the emblem, I never have to worry about switching crap.
you're one of
That's one.
those.
What's that supposed to mean, RPG?
Oh, you know what it means.
Oh,
You
what
know,
does it mean? 'Cause I don't know.
because everyone's like, apparently a lot of people had switched to Thorn or something for PvE or PvP stuff recently. So a lot of people are kind of just like, ew, Thorn users. But I mean, they don't seem to really be doing that much of a difference because I've killed plenty of people who have thorns and still survived. So,
RPG. Just because you have one doesn't mean you're good with it, or that it makes you good. Just there.
well, apparently they assume they are because they're all using it. So, I mean, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I once I forgot that it's gonna probably take forever to rank up. So, I mean, really, my hunter's the only one who needs like a cool chest piece. I mean, I can wait for my Titan to get it somewhere else. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's just nice to have the nice golden wolf stuff and everything because Iron Banner stuff looks cool. So it's like that's pretty much the only thing about it.
Yeah, the only thing I do every week now is check to see what the Prison of Elder dude Varix has, to see like what the stats are on the armor, and then see what the Trials dude has to see what the stats are on the armor, to see if I can
How do you rank up
incorporate
with
them into
them?
my PvP build, or if they have better discipline than the one I already have. Did you say how do you rank them up?
Like, how do you rank up with him? Does he have like bounties and
Oh,
stuff,
you
or
you play
only?
Prison of Elders, and it has rep.
Oh, but I
Just
can't
like
play Prison
Queen's
of Elders
Bounties or
without
the
people.
Queen's Revenge or whatever stuff is like rep outside of all the other stuff too.
See, that's the problem too, because like I don't have the Nightfall buffs because that doesn't have matchmaking either, and then that means I don't get the buffs from that, and then I can't play the other stuff because I there's no matchmaking for any of that either. So it's like, well, I can't play any of this new content without people. So it's like you're killing me, Destiny. You're killing me. So
Yeah, it was weird. Like last time this happened when it was like Iron Banner on top of Trials, I was like, well, it's kind of cool because it's like there's so much to do. But now it's like Trials, I'm good because I've got all the stuff I need, and it's like whatever. So, and then like the people I'm playing with kind of take it too seriously. It's like I just want to get the gold tier. It's like they're all like flawless, flawless, flawless. It's like, dude, like it's called flawless for a reason. It's not easy, and they don't like treat it with the respect that they need to treat it with. It's like, dude, it's like it's called going 9-0 because it's like super hard. It's not like you can just we're totally not gonna lose because we're so awesome. It's like, yeah, whatever. Just I'm so over it. I'm so over it. It's just like whatever. I'm going gold tier with all my characters each week, and that's the plan. If I go flawless, I go flawless. Whoop de doo. So yeah.
It did feel pretty easy though that one time.
I think that's because it's the first week, dude. Now chapter cool. Now after like weeks and weeks of it,
now
people have like
now
assembled
everyone's
their
like,
dream teams of just getting stomped to the ground. And then I totally switched over from fusion rifles to sidearms now, so I use the Vestian Dynasty instead of fusion rifles because I realized that I need to, in the moment of needing to kill something, not have a gun that needs to charge, and just shoots out when I
sidearms.
push the
Is that the only sidearm?
Uh, there's a exotic one you get from Prison of Elders, but I don't use it, so I'm not sure how good it is.
Once again, something I can't get. See, this is they need to like put matchmaking on these things because like you don't always have a fire team to go into this stuff, and it's like, well, now I'm missing out on all the other content because I don't have a. I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Apparently, we lost Tropical, and I have the red thingy that says "Hold on" while we try to get the call back.
Tropical, no.
So yeah, Destiny, effing Destiny. Though I did get this sweet helmet for the hunter that's called the Celestial Nighthawk, and it does like 6 times damage, but you only get 1 shot with your golden gun, and it's pretty cool. So you get that.
Shot.
I guess it's the only other thing I need is like the new exotic armor, but I'll just get it from 0 over time or through Nightfalls. So
I need to do the Nightfalls eventually, but I don't know. I don't know, man, because I can't do it Tuesday. I have to do it like Tuesday morning or something. And then it took me It took me like a while to figure out what the hell that ether key thing was when we were like playing patrol or whatever the stuff was. Because they do not tell you that, and yeah, apparently it's for opening treasure chest. So, yeah.
are you talking about the treasure key or the
No,
thing?
no, the ether key buff thing. I guess.
Oh yeah. That's
Because
annoying.
when I got it,
At first it was even
just-
worse because it like took forever to get a key, but now it's like you're guaranteed to get a key if you do one of the Queen bounties, or Queen's Wrath bounties.
Well, it happens. It happens even if you're just like if like the event just happens.
Well,
Because
you have to like do damage to the target or whatever if you're in the area.
yeah, but
And
you don't
it's-
have to have the bounty.
No, I think even if you don't have the bounty, you still get a chance to get a key.
That's what I'm
'cause
saying. You don't
yeah.
have to have the bounty.
Yeah.
Just as long as you're in the area when it happens and you're.
I'm saving up my keys because I know they're like totally trying to like trick us with it, and then like there's that door when you go to the reef that has like the Queen's door, and it's like I know there's something behind there, but
Oh
they
no, not
haven't
the
told us.
treasure keys. I'm talking about that ether key buff, the little countdown thing.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't know what that was when it first came up, and I was like, "What the hell is the ether key?" And the game doesn't tell you, so it's just like, okay, what do I do now? So that that was fun to try to figure out until I found the treasure chest and it was like requires ether key. I was like, oh, that's what this is for. They should probably tell you these things. So you're just not like wandering around like, oh, what is this weird buff I got that has a countdown timer on it for some weird reason? So yeah, I don't know.
Oh, the irony. We waited so long for Trav to call, and now he's having issues. Whatever.
Just try to re-add them.
I am trying to re-add him.
Oh,
I've been trying to re-add him the whole time.
try harder.
Let's see. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at in the game. I'm about to take another break just because there's one gun I need that's exotic, and the rest it's exotic armor. I could just get from Zur or from Nightfalls, and then slowly getting my characters up to. Well, it's weird. At first, I was trying to get like 100, like super high discipline, and then like don't care about strength, and like maybe decent intellect for my PvP builds. But then my hunter, I was playing trials, and I got like the Watcher gear, but it was like magical, awesome balance to where if I have. Well, if I have it on with my third man mask on my Blade Dancer, I have like 100% intellect, 100% discipline. I don't have any strength, but it's like whatever because you get like you have a skill with like that class that's like fast regen on your melee anyway. So it's like ooh, it's really good build there. But then if I put my Lucky Raspberry on, I mean still 100% discipline, but then like the intellect is like 70 or 71, so it's like it's almost there, but not quite. So yeah, just slowly getting the perfect min-max on my PvP builds, and then that's really all I'm doing now. And I'd have to play, I can go back to playing just on Tuesdays to do that, so yay, other stuff, back to the backlog. And there were some sales on PSN, I picked some stuff up, so of course,
Why would you do that?
because RPG, I was like, well, I wanted to play this game, it's only $25, sure, or this game, I've heard some good things about, it's only $10, yeah, or, I need to go back to Project Cars because I haven't finished it yet, so, yeah. Luckily it's the summer and no games come out in the summer, so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least there's no games in the next... until September, because that's...
Not for you anyway, but...
Yeah, for me there's no games. Unless there are and I just don't know about it, because they're just like Fall 24, or Holiday 2015, or 2015, no date given. Like a bunch of stuff, like Galaxy, it's like the summer. We're not going to say when, but it's the summer. Mm-hmm. Have you been playing anything else besides Destiny RPG?
Yes, plenty of other stuff. But hold on one second.
Alrighty. I have no idea if we're getting tried to call back, because he said, oh, Skype failed me. So,
Just pause the podcast then.
okay, I'll just pause it. I've never paused it before. Let's see what happens. Oh, I guess I can pause the podcast, but I can't pause the live stream.
I mean, that's fine, but
Okay.
it's like just pauses the recording. And
Pause the podcast now.
you're
And
going to
the
have to
stream
edit that
still
part out too.
goes. No, I'm not.
Yeah, you
Nope.
are.
Nope. Can't make me.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
So yeah, stuff. I'm trying to think something about Destiny while we wait. PvE, not using Thorn, so I don't know, whatever. It's like I probably could use a different gun, but every time I use a different gun, I'll end up getting killed by Thorn or Thorns, multiple of them. So it's like it just makes me annoyed rather, because I remember first week of trials, I started with Red Death, and then by the end it was like nope, and then Thorn all the time. So that's what happened there. Because otherwise it would be Warlock would use multi-tool. Titan would probably use either, I mean, Suros, yeah, it's an auto rifle, whatever, or Mythic Last, and then Hunter would use Red Death and Hawkmoon. Are you back, Tactical?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, RPG is AFK, and I paused the recording, but the stream's still going. I was just talking into the
Into the
nothingness.
ether.
Yeah, into the ether, because I'm not sure if anybody's watching the live stream. So, where did you get lost in the call? When you do you remember?
Something about Destiny. What was it?
Was it Iron Banner? Was it Trials of Osiris? Me using Thorn?
Yeah, it was a little past. It was something about it seemed easy, and everyone now has their stomp squads.
Oh,
and
yeah, Charles. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's... Oh, okay, again, when RPG comes back, because I heard... Okay, someone told me what they saw online, what might be the new level cap, but I didn't, like, go to, like, investigate, because I never do, so I'm like, whatever, I'm not going to bother looking at leaks and blah, 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 I'll just see it when I see it. So after I got wind of it, I was like, ooh, well, that'll be really fun the first week the Trials of Osiris is, if it's that high, because, if you're there, you're there. If you're not, haha. Oh, that was the other cool thing, is, like, we ran into some really low-level teams, and we're just, like, destroying them, and it was like, man, if only there was, like, more of these more often, but, of course, that's not the case, so...
one-shotting level 31s.
Yeah. There'll be, like, a 32 that's, like, doing okay, but it's like, haha, you'll have to try harder.
Oh, wait, yeah, you were talking about how you switched to sidearms. Because you need them to die, and you don't have time to wait for a gun to charge.
I was like, dude, I can use these in PvE, but PvP it's just not going to cut it, so... And I'm just not going to bother. I mean, I will have shotguns just because I have one on each character in PvE, but I'm probably never going to switch to just because I prefer to use fusion rifles, so...
And they're not crazy powerful in PvP.
Yeah, unless I have a bubble to trap them in and blind them, and then run up and start shotgunning them, which is fun. With my Titan, but every other class they can't do that unless it's like the hunter that goes invisible, maybe. But it just seems not, from a strategical standpoint, not something you'd like to do if you want to just stay far away and shoot them. Okay, Tropical, should we continue recording without RPG, or should we wait until he gets back? 'Cause I have no idea when he's returning. 'Cause he just said, "I'll be right back," and then he's gone.
I don't know. He's the one that's been playing Destiny.
This is gonna be interesting. It's like I can put up the live stream podcast version with like no pause, and we just keep talking. You can like hear what happened, and then you can listen to the actual recording podcast of like, oh wow, oh that's totally cut out. All I heard was they're gonna pause the podcast, and they came back. It was magical. Tekken totally didn't edit it like RPG said he would. Oh wait, that'll be in the live part. That wouldn't be in the recorded part. Yeah.
Crazy.
I guess I'll put in the thingy that Troutical is back if RPG doesn't know. What's the next game conference? Is it Gamescom
I think it's
or something else?
possibly like San Diego Comic-Con
Yes.
will have stuff. That's in July. I think it's like the weekend after this one. And then yeah, Gamescom in August.
Oh man, I forgot to play Gran Turismo 6. They added a new vision car, so I haven't seen it yet. I think they added a new one. I'm not sure. They did something. They updated the little monument thing, and they did change some other stuff. So yeah.
Too much stuff to play.
Actually, I was just talking about that. I was like, well, there's no games in the summer, and I'm going to be taking a break from Destiny. But I have plenty on the backlog, so... And I did pick up I did end up getting Drive Club when it was like $25. I was like, whatever,
Oh.
because the free version's out, so I'm guessing they fixed whatever was wrong with the before it was free version, and it was only $25 anyway. So it's like whatever. It's like $5 over my cap, and I was going to get it anyway. So, and I was itching for racing games after seeing Need for Speed, D3. It's like, yep. Do I need to play through Project Cars first, but whatever. So yeah, it's like that and that one card game with combat in it. I forgot what it's called, but it's like an indie game. It was $10 in the flash sale, and I picked it up.
The military one?
No, it
Sort of?
it was like a fantasy. It's like this. I don't know what it's called. I'd have to look it up. It's like part card game, and then it has like you're on this quest thingy, and then if you do stuff on the board, you go into this combat room. It's like I don't want to say it's Batman combat, but it's like 3D action combat. I think it's CQC style or melee combat with your fists. Don't know the name, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't think of it either. Hi, stream.
I guess we could talk about Batman because RPG hasn't been playing it anyway, so I guess we'll resume the podcast and be like,
Oh, yeah.
RPG's back when he's back, but he ain't back, so whatever. Okay, let me switch the image to Batman, and we can go from there. Did you finally finish it, our tropical?
Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Or not 100% yet.
Well, I haven't finished 100%. I'm never going to finish 100% because F those.
Oh, really?
F those riddles. I know.
What about-
I might. Gamer told me they're all super easy. He said something like a grade school kid could do them, so I might go back. But
Yeah, like it's really different than Arkham Cities.
that's what I was thinking.
Arkham Cities
because
were
they're
really
just stupid.
Yeah.
Are you
Which
back,
ones?
RPG?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, we're totally going to continue on without you, but
I figured.
I guess that's
But
fine.
did you guys start talking about Batman now?
We almost did, but now that you're here, ...
Oh.
We will.
Sorry.
Is there anything you want to add on Destiny before we continue RPG?
It can be better, but it can only do that if they stop supporting the last gen consoles.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me push the unpause button on the podcast so we can come back to wherever we were at. Even though I don't know where we left off, because I'm totally... That's never something we ever do. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Pushing the button now. I have no idea if this is even how this works, because I've never paused it. Okay, we're back. So yeah,
Kind of, anyway.
Destiny and stuff.
I guess we'll just have to wait for Destiny 2. That's all there is to it.
No. Actually, it seems like they're not gonna do Destiny 2.
Oh,
It seems because everyone thought Destiny 2 was coming out at the end of this year, or I don't know. They said that thing to their investors, and then everyone picked
Well, I
it
thought
up
they still
as,
had the-
oh, Destiny 2 is coming out.
Well, I thought they still had to wait until after the Taken King stuff was done, though, because they said there was going to be like the next major expansion before any sequels were planned or done or something.
Maybe.
Because I mean, they might get announced at like next year's E3 or something.
See, what they're calling it is everything we've played so far is year one. They're calling it Destiny Year 1 now, and then Year 2 starts with the Taken King. So that's going to be a year, right? Unless they decide. It was like, oh, Year 2 was just like half of it. In fact, we're going to launch Destiny 2 right after Taken King.
It's like right now. As a matter of fact, like at this second.
It doesn't seem like that. In fact, like the other thing that they're doing is for Taken King, they're boxed copies. You can buy a box copy of the Taken King, or you can buy a box copy of like the collector's editions. Are basically like, oh, you didn't buy Destiny when it came out? That's okay. Here, give us $60 now, and you can have Destiny Year 1 plus the Taken King.
Wait,
just a year
I
later.
thought it was 79. Was that? Oh, might read the collector's edition. Never mind.
Yeah. Collector's edition is $80, but I think 60 is what they're asking for for like the year
The
one
full thing.
compilation plus
Yeah.
whatever is coming.
I think some people were not happy about that,
Yeah, I heard that too.
but I mean,
When
it was
when
bound
has
to
it
happen.
ever worked out
Like it was,
$50 in terms of money value?
I mean, it
Never.
was bound to happen. So it's like, are you surprised though? Are you? Because it's like people have been making all these Game of the Year editions and super editions of things. It's like you can't be surprised if a game gets expansions that it's not going to get like a full edition version of it or something later. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just because the Taken King is so expensive, so they probably feel cheated because of that. When they just get the whole thing for like
silly complainers. Actually, I was looking at it. At least with my more casual friends, like they all jumped off of Call of Duty and are now playing Destiny, and so to them, their one expenditure a year is no longer $60 plus. I think the season pass for Call of Duty was 40 or 50, right?
Oh, Call of Duty has a season pass.
Yeah,
Oh,
they've been doing it since Modern Warfare 2, I believe. But yeah, so instead of that expenditure now, every year is $40 to $80, maybe.
Well, I mean, we won't know. I mean, it's only been 1 year, so we don't know
Yeah,
that.
so it was like 60 for Destiny, and then 40 for that season pass, and then Taken King is 40, and that's supposed to be. Yeah, I guess we don't know. Maybe it'll be more.
I think it's funny because like ever since Modern Warfare 3, I've been like off the Call of Duty train, so it's like there wasn't a game for me to look forward to every year or like the yearly release or whatever. So now it's like Destiny's that game now. Where it's like the yearly expansion or like whatever the new content stuff is every 3 or 4 months or more.
It's kind of cool, like it, because you get to build off of the character you've already been playing. It's not just I bought a totally new game, but then I started playing it, and it was actually kind of the same as the old game, but a different place. This is like, well, you already know that it's the same game, but you want to go to new places because you want new stuff. I don't know what they're going to do for year 3, though. Like, this is, you get a new subclass in this one, and there's a whole quest to get that.
I was thinking about that trying I was like, what if they had a new playable race? But they won't.
Well, not playable race. They probably need a new playable class. I mean, you wouldn't care about you barely get to see them.
I'm just saying, if they did something like substantial with like the gender or race options that you made in the first part of the game,
I would want a new playable class, not a race. Just make up something new that has some new sort of abilities and stuff. Or give me my damn space. Yeah, that's true. Where are my damn space fights, guys? Where are my space fights? I've been asking for it.
Will be like, now we must fight in space.
Yes!
Go out, Guardians. Find your weapons. And then you have to go out and get weapons for your ships. Do they have weapons on them? It doesn't.
I think so. Some of them look like they might.
Or we could do it drive-by style. Everyone's wearing helmets anyway. Just open the cockpit.
Like, I feel like that's dangerous, but then again, nothing in Destiny makes sense, so it would totally be okay.
It's not like there's wind resistance up there.
I'm sure the whole
open it.
Vacuum thing might be an issue, though. You're like opening
helmets and armor.
Yeah, but I mean, you might get sucked out of the ship, though.
No, like just vent out all the air first and then open the cockpit.
That seems like a process. I would just be like, nope, we're just drop your cargo or something. Use it as like.
That'll be the load screen for the PvP part.
Oh yeah,
just like everyone, it'll just show everyone sitting and decompressing in their cockpit and then opening up.
Like elevator music and everything. It's like,
Bravo team.
I'm mad if they don't do this, man. They can do this. Come on.
I don't know for GPS 360. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the problem.
It all comes back to that.
F the last gen.
Hey guys, think of all the fun you could be having in this game, and then think of all the last gen consoles that are holding us back. Yeah.
I mean, as a
Come
matter of
on,
fact,
Division. Come on, Division.
no, this probably would have like forced people to go ahead and make the jump if they just just stop supporting the damn consoles. Just stop supporting them.
One more year.
Say that now, Tropical. This is a 10-year endeavor.
Yeah, I guess I think what it's going to come down to, if it's Activision, is whenever the
'Cause
current
even
generation gets
even Black Ops 3
to
has like PS3 and 360, right?
yeah,
So yeah.
totally different developers. I think Transformers Devastation also has last gen
Yep,
versions.
it's on PS3 and 360.
These are all under Activision, though, aren't they?
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're establishing a pattern. I think Tony
Yeah.
Hawk. Is Tony Hawk on last gen?
I think so. Maybe.
Actually,
Well, no, I think that was just. I think that might be current gen.
I think it might be
Yeah.
because like I think they said something about like the online is like borked for last gen. It's
I
not
don't
as
think
good.
Guitar Hero is on last gen either.
That one
right?
might not be.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe they're using those brands to bring people to next gen and then be like, buy last gen.
Or it could be like a testing bed since they haven't had
Oh,
games
yeah.
for those in a while. So they're like, can we get away with doing just current gen stuff? Let's use the ones we haven't been using in a while, so it's fine.
If
I mean,
it
when's the
was
last time a
these
Tony Hawk
dead
game-
brands? It'll totally work on our brands that are still alive. Wow, that's crazy. Both of those brands died the same year.
Well, that's because both of them had already released like 60,000 in the previous year. It's like there was one coming out like every other month. Think people would learn. Oversaturation is not a good thing. Nintendo.
Right, so I guess we're done with Destiny. So are we going to go into Batman or something else?
Sure.
Oh no.
Another game two of us have played this week.
And Tropical
Yeah, I
finished
finally
it?
went through
Yay.
all of it. Wow, the campaign was quite long
Yeah,
actually.
it is.
Even just the main campaign is quite long, but then I didn't play it that way. There were points that felt natural to like go off and do other things. It's like, okay, Lucius needs time to do this thing. So what's out here? And yeah, I would just go around and take out towers and find firefighters and track things in the air, and that was all good fun.
What was it?
And the ending, man.
Did you see the extended ending, Tropical?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, I haven't either. So yeah, but yeah, the ending, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, I remember seeing a headline saying that there are multiple endings to Arkham
What?
Knight, and I'm like, is it choice-based endings, or is it just
Percentage.
that ending and the other ending thing? I don't know. There were parts that seemed like, well, what would happen if I did this thing? Will it turn out the same, but there'll just be bad blood, or
It's also cool because if you're doing the side quests and you do it after something that happens towards the end, like the dialogue is different between Batman
yeah.
and the NPCs. I'm like, if I do this all before I do that, would it be different? And I'm like,
Yep. Yeah, in fact, like early on, I started New Game Plus, and I did something like I did the first Riddler thing before he sent out his challenge, and there was like totally different dialogue because he was just like, "Oh, you just came of your own will. Okay, that's cool." And then you finish, and he's like, "Okay, but I'm not quite ready, so go do your Batman thing. Come back later." And I was like, that was different. And then another thing, man, can we talk about it? I guess it was at the E3 press conference. It was like the beginning, you're playing as a cop from first person, and then you get gassed by Scarecrow stuff, and then
Oh no.
you shoot a bunch of people.
well, you don't if you don't shoot anybody because I didn't shoot anybody.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, it's cool. Like, Oh, so you never shot anyone?
No.
Okay, so you never
Of
saw
course,
the other
Tropical
one.
did because his first
Because
thought
I
was like
was,
start killing
playing it
things.
as the way that it's as I think they're supposed to probably play it.
Just like
Yeah,
killing
like when
people.
you see the guy in the prison when you didn't shoot anyone, the other cops there are just like, wow, I can't believe how he got out without shooting anyone, because the other people were just tearing each other up. And when you do shoot people, they're just like, oh man, like he's never gonna recover from this. He shot when he finds out what he did. And I was like, oh, that's neat. There's like adaptive dialogue stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Arkham, well, I guess one of the, I think there's like two things besides the whole like too much Batmobile, is that it just totally is what's the word I'm looking for here? But the lack of challenge rooms, just there's not very many as far as Combat
Yeah.
Predator, because you have Combat Predator, but then they add Batmobile for racing and combat, and then the Scarecrow stuff. It's like, what? Just whatever. I like it, yeah, whatever. Like after whatever. It's like A, that, and then B, the flippin' like episodes from Arkham are super short, and they're just combat and Predator stuff like intertwined into like a
Mm.
little slice of DLC.
Man, those were really disappointing so far. So I'm glad I haven't picked up the season pass yet.
Me
'Cause I'm
too.
just
'Cause
like,
after I did that, after I played through like the Red Hood and the Harley Quinn, and they're both
yeah,
like no longer than 20 minutes, I'm like, I'm not buying the season pass. And then after I saw there's no more challenge maps for me to play in the vanilla version of the game, I'm like, no season pass. And then I got super mad because I found a Easter egg for Batgirl in the clock tower, and I was like, Rocksteady! On my New Game Plus playthrough, I didn't see it the first time, and I was like,
oh, you didn't see it the first time.
yeah. Now I'm in like full on rage mode of F your season pass Rocksteady because I'm not buying it. So
Wait, what was the Easter egg?
it's the Batgirl costume in like
Oh.
some thing you open with one of your
Yep.
gadgets.
That part was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was
because I was looking for the that one's one of the Riddler puzzles.
Oh, I didn't know that. Cause I was like, look, I just did it because I had a gadget that would do it, and I was like, what's this doing if I do that? And I was like, oh, it opens this Batgirl costume.
It's like, oh,
Newspaper clippings. Oh man, that's so cool.
Oh, does she miss being Batgirl? Oh, I blame the Joker for this.
Oracle lives in the clock tower, right? It's her apartment.
I have no idea.
Right? I think that's what it's supposed to be.
I think so.
Otherwise, like Gordon is pretty cool with her being in the
I
clock
just
tower.
about to say it was,
It's just like she was in the clock tower, and he just says nothing about that part.
it's like, yeah,
It's
that's
like-
cool. She's always there.
Yeah,
Totally, not,
otherwise it's
totally
just
not
like,
doing a superhero
'cause that
thing or
would be a
anything.
weird thing if she didn't live there.
Maybe
If you have a
just
point, there was like some pictures in a bookshelf, and it did
Yeah.
lived in.
you could just be like, she's a grown woman. I don't care what she does with her free time. She wants to hang out in creepy clock towers. That's cool. It's cool.
Wow, that's weird. Yeah, I've started seeing a lot of people saying that they didn't like the Batmobile. I thought it was totally fine.
It's not like I
Even
didn't, it's just like I grew to like accustomed to it in time. It's just I felt there's too much of it. Like it's like you get it, and then it feels like a third wheel of like before it was like combat and Predator stuff, and now it's like Predator stuff, combat, and Batmobile stuff, and it's just yeah.
Some of it
And I
gets
got like
kinda
super
forced.
ragey at like a certain point in the game because I did not have it leveled up, and the only reason I got past it is because the boss got stuck, and I was like, able to just get free hits on him and win. So had it not been for that, you would have been hearing about it on the podcast of like, F the Batmobile, I didn't put any points to it, my Batmobile's too weak, I couldn't get through this part, just, ugh.
See, it was funny. Like the way I played through Arkham Knight, I sort of, you know how in the Adam West show, basically Batman always has what he needs for the situation,
Yes.
and it's just like that belt's not that big. Like, how do you have everything?
And it is like oddly specific stuff too. It's not
Yeah.
even like it's not like everyday items. It's like flying shark repellent or something. It's like, why
Yeah.
would you have ever come across this to be prepared for it? Like,
What happened to you,
I
Bruce?
know, right?
That you would need something like that. But yeah, like that's sort of how I played through the game. So I didn't buy any upgrades when I didn't need them. And then I would approach situations. So I'd show up somewhere and I'm, looming over the guys down below, and I start thinking, what would make this easier? And there's like, oh yeah, if I could like disable all their guns or make them explode or like disable that guy's radar thing or all these different ideas. Is like, okay. And then I would go into upgrades and start looking at like, okay, what do I need? It's like, oh, okay, if I got this one, then I could do that and do this. And so it was always like on demand. I would have the skills that I required for whatever I was doing. And so early on with the Batmobile stuff, it's like, I wish this thing could shoot faster. And so I would just like pause mid battle and then bring it up and it's like, okay, I'm going to make it reload faster and reload there we go. Now it's really fast. And so when I got to most of those parts, like it was already I had basically what I needed in every situation. Now, like I'm not really sure what I'm doing with upgrades now in New Game Plus. I'm just kind of like, I guess this would be kind of fun to try out. And so I'm doing things that I wouldn't have thought of, like all the gadgets you can throw while you're gliding towards bad guys is like, I have the points and nothing else to put them into, so put those in, and then it's just this weird situation. You're just slowly flying towards the guys, and everyone is getting knocked down by batarangs and explosive gel and random stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, with games like that, that's kind of like the only problem I have whenever I have games where it's like you can put skill points in and stuff, because then I end up hoarding them, and I kind of do the same thing where I'm just like, well, what would I need for this situation, and then I'll only use them for that, and then it's like I don't think I'm supposed to be playing it like this. I think I'm supposed to be spinning these as I get them.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't know.
I kind of did that to
like
a point. I would just like spend it on the combat and the predator stuff I wanted, and then like every time I went to my menu, I'd be like, wow, I have a lot of skill points, and just like whatever. And then I put like all my like Batmobile stuff into armor just because every encounter was like, there's a lot of drones. I should make sure I don't get murdered. So yeah, and I didn't want to waste it on weaponry because I was like, psh, I got this, like with default weapons, because I was just rolling through with my default stuff. So I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna waste my skill points on this Batmobile.
I went totally opposite. It was like, yeah, I'm not gonna use it on armor because I'll just dodge everything, and if I can shoot them faster, then obviously they're not gonna shoot me because they'll be dead. Interesting. Yeah, even when I got to that part you're talking about, I was like, this is really intense, but it's not like impossible or super frustrating. I think I only died once because I took a turn too sharp and I ran into a wall and then got blown away. Yeah, it was all very, very cool. The game was all very cool.
I liked how they incorporated like stealth elements into the Batmobile stuff later on, where it's like, oh,
yeah,
like, it kind of felt like the Hunt for Red October Tank Edition.
Yeah.
It also just felt
there
like
weren't people driving those.
I guess like the one thing I did like about the Batmobile stuff was like it did feel like a not like Sniper Sled, but it made me feel like I was playing like a game type I hadn't played in a while, because the Batmobile does feel heavy, and like when you shoot stuff, it just feel like you feel the impact of just like the psh when you're shooting the drones. So I was like, man, I haven't played a game like this in a while. So yeah, and it felt like very different from like other vehicle combat stuff like Twisted Metal. It just like felt like very weighty and like slow in the trenches.
Actually, my favorite part of the Batmobile missions were the chase down the APCs ones. Those were super fun, especially when the APCs would call in like backup, and then they did the cool cinematic sort of slowdown when you take them out.
Oh yeah, kind of like Burnout.
Yeah, and so like I got the upgrade where you can ram them and it'll take them out, and then also the side swipe can take them out often, and then obviously your immobilizer missiles. And it was just like you could do really cool combos. So you could side swipe to the right and then boost into another one, and then as it's in slow motion, the missile lock on gets onto the APC, and then you fire the missile. It's like, oh, this is so awesome. Yeah, so that was really fun. I also like right now I'm hunting Riddler stuff, and I didn't notice them at all my first playthrough. But there's like these shields on buildings that you're supposed to destroy, and man, the tracking Riddler stuff is so much easier in Arkham Knight than in Arkham City. In Arkham City, because they didn't have the Batmobile, and I guess like it doesn't. I don't think it mattered as much. Like when you get to a point in Arkham Knight and you find out something, you're like, oh my gosh, I must get all of the Riddler trophies. And I think maybe the developers were sort of like, yeah, I think this one is really going to push people. And since we're still putting hundreds of them in the game, like we don't want to punish them that much.
That's like what kept me from getting it. Is like I just saw like the number after I finished of like 46 out of 227.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Nope, 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 nope. It's like have fun with that, gamer. And it took him like 2 days. I was like, psh, psh,
It's
2
gonna take me
days,
long
2
to
days
have it.
finding trophies. I didn't taking his damn time for that. F that crap. Psh.
Because like in Arkham City, almost I remember like a large majority of the trophies were like you would find it and then you'd have to use your detective vision and like follow these wires all around the buildings to find where the switches were. And then it's like, okay, now I found the switches. Now I have to do all of this batarang, crazy remote control batarangs and all this stuff. Hit all the right switches in the right order, and then it'll open, and then I can go back to that thing. In this one, a lot of them are just sort of sitting out there. It's like, oh, it's just right there. You just didn't know it was there because the city is humongous. And then, like, so like the destructible ones, they're in plain sight. It's just for some reason never noticed them. It's like, well, the buildings are very detailed. I just thought it was part of the building.
That was his intention. He's the real
But yeah,
one.
it's really easy to find them, and since you're super mobile, like to destroy the ones on the buildings, you need the Batmobile. But the cool part about the Batmobile is it will show up wherever you call it. So instead of driving to every single destructible, I just fly there, and then when I fly, when I'm near it, then I call the Batmobile, and it just drives itself over.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. Like it was 900 meters away, but using the maximum upgrade of the grapple gun is just like it took half a minute to get over here. If I had to drive like Grand Theft Auto, it would have taken a minute, and it wouldn't have been quite as awesome as this.
Because I actually think I mentioned that in one of Tekken streams. I was like, well, if the Batmobile can drive itself, why don't you just go to wherever you need to go to summon a thing? Just put whatever you need into it and just go. 'Cause it's like, you don't actually have to drive this thing. But then it's like, then why even have the Batmobile? And we're not going to use it. So, I don't know.
Well, like you can use it in both ways. So sometimes what I do to go the fastest is so I'll fly to one of the destructibles, call the Batmobile, blow it up, and then find the next one on the map, mark it, turn the Batmobile in that direction, ramp it up its speed with the boost, and then glide out of it. And like it's all very smooth and well integrated, so it's like really fast. You can get to the next one so quickly. And once I get over there, call the Batmobile again and just keep doing that over and over. And yeah, like at first I was looking at, because I think first playthrough I had maybe 70 of the trophies, and then I looked and like, oh my gosh, there's over 200 of them. This is gonna take forever. But because I finished that part, and it's just like, oh, I want them. So I started just going around the city doing it. It's like, oh, actually, this is super fast because most of them are really easy. They're just sitting out there, or it's like, oh, a destructible wall. Call the Batmobile over, blow it up, and then just like fly in. Yes, I like the Batmobile.
No, you don't.
The chase sequences are awesome. I also like how it's sort of the the claw in the back in the trunk that he uses to capture and also I guess secure any passengers, because I drive pretty rough.
Oh my.
And even the tank battles, I don't know. People, I guess, didn't like the tank battles either. It's like, they seem okay. There's not actually, if you're not doing the optional stuff, well, then again, I don't really feel like anything is optional when I'm playing a Batman game because Batman is sort of an obsessed guy and he's just going to do everything. But yeah, I guess in the structure of the game, those things are optional. And most of the main plot stuff, I think there's only maybe 6 tank battles total.
Not tank battles.
There aren't that many.
Oh man, it's fun.
That's why I've been playing those Arkham Knight and Destiny. So that's
What? It's all played. What is wrong with you?
Both are very time-consuming games.
Lies. Lies on top of lies.
So, RPG, did you ask your question to Tekken last week
Which one?
about who the Arkham Knight is?
Well, I didn't ask him. I just told him who I thought it was, and he
Oh.
confirmed it for me. So
Okay. What did we think about that?
I was alright with it just because it was one of the people I suspected it was before the game came out. Even well, I guess I can't say any more besides or like without spoiling. But yeah, like it was one of the person I suspected before the game came out. So I was like, but then like they kind of like really hinted on it like towards like the end before they revealed it. So it's like okay.
They started hinting at it
Yeah.
pretty hard. I was like, so it is? But they said it wasn't?
Did they say that?
Well, they said, when they revealed Arkham Knight, they said, yeah, it's actually the name of a character, and he is a totally original character
Oh yeah.
that we got
that's
to
a good
create.
point.
And I was like, oh, so it's a totally original character. And then the more I saw, I was like, wait, why? It's like, so, and then the hinting came. It's like, so it's, and then you find out, it's like, oh,
I think they might have meant that the persona
Yeah.
was the
think
original
that's
character,
prob-
not necessarily who it was.
I mean, you know, when you got there, and the thing is, like, I really liked that one movie that I won't say
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like,
I was about to say.
so you know, having it be like this, like that was cool because this time
It's like an alternate take
I
on
was Batman,
Yeah.
and so it happened to me. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know. It just seems like they were mentioning it too much for it not to be who it was. So I was
Yeah.
like, that's why I was, it was like, it's totally.
I mean,
totally
they
what it is,
could have.
but-
I think they could have done things to make it seem like it was being mentioned for other reasons, but they didn't really do that. So it was just like, oh,
Because it's like, what other reason would they be mentioning this other than, this leading up to the reveal for that to be who it is? Because it's like, otherwise it just seemed odd. Because like the part I was watching when Tekken was going, I forgot which part of where he was, or whatever, but it was like this is like during that time where he was laughing at the whole song thing. I was like, there's something seriously wrong with you, because it's like all the parts leading up to that was like involving those scenes and stuff, and I was like, this seems out of place unless it's like absolutely necessary. So it's like, I don't know, because otherwise he would be hallucinating stuff like his parents' death and stuff too if that was. And so it's like, I don't know, it just seemed like, yeah, clearly it's going a certain way with this. So
You know, it was really interesting because, well, so the game is constantly entertaining, and I think a lot of that comes from just having the ambient, like, thugs talking. Because even after you complete it, you would think that the thugs would just be, you know, in a lesser game, they would basically be saying the same sort of stuff that you've been hearing all throughout the game, but after certain points, like, they start saying different things. how is this related to what we're talking? I'm not really sure anymore.
It's the power of the console.
Oh yeah, imaginary friend. Like if you go around a lot, you hear a lot of different stuff. It's really cool. That's yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Because you know, in the other ones, when you're looking for the Riddler trophies, it's sort of thankless and lonely. You're just going around. It's like this crazy guy just littered these all over the city, and now I'm just picking them because I don't know why. But in this one, it was like there's always like people. There's always new stuff to hear, and if you do it before a certain part, then there's that person talking to you all the time. So good. But yeah, man, they have a lot to prove to get me to get a season pass. If it's gonna be what I've seen so far, like I think so the Red Hood one was more disappointing, right?
I actually liked it just because the combat was cool.
Oh,
Cause,
okay.
like, yeah, like the way he uses guns and everything. I was like wondering how that would work, and it was pretty cool. And he just and he kills people like straight up in his combat.
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap! He just snapped that guy's neck or shot him in the face. Wow, that's where the rating came from. Even though there's no blood.
It's fun.
Well, he's
You know,
not
when
Batman, so
Detective Vision, you look at them as Batman, and this is unconscious. It doesn't say like deceased in Red Hood's vision. It says neutralized. But you look and it's like 0 BPM.
actually isn't quite clearly.
We all know what neutralized means.
Whoops.
Yeah, I actually thought, well, so you know, I was expecting much more from something called a story pack. So when I first played the Red Hood one, and I was like, oh, it's basically like the Bruce Wayne thing from Arkham Origins, right?
Yeah, pretty much. 'Cause it's combat.
And I was like,
Predator.
that's it. And then the Harley one, there's actually some walking around. I was like, oh, this is sort of a bit more what I expected.
I thought that
but
was
then,
weird just because of the way that boss fight ends. I was like, what? No way.
Yeah.
That would never happen. Whatever. It's like, yeah.
She fought a boss.
Yep.
yes, it was a weird fight.
Ah.
Well, actually, if you look at all the profiles of the different characters, it says most of them are good at fighting. Like even Penguin, I think for Penguin it says surprisingly good hand-to-hand combatant or something like that.
I've actually seen that in like his profiles and other things too. So I guess
Yeah, it's like-
it's an actual thing for him, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him because it's like it's the Penguin. Come on.
Yeah,
on,
like
guys.
the only rendition of him that I've seen that's good at fighting is the Batman. There was that one cartoon which was all about action.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That one is like, man, he is amazing.
Because that's the one I think
So
it took a while to
nimble.
actually introduce Robin in because he was like in a different show at the time or
Yeah,
something.
he was on Teen Titans at the time.
So you're like, yeah, you can't use Robin. So no. Oh. Yeah, because I think like all the characters in that show like knew martial arts in some way, shape, or form, even
Yep.
if they didn't have it like established previously that they could do these things. It's like, huh, this is weird.
Oh. Well, it is sad that it's over.
Don't worry.
Or
when the
soon it'll be
sequel's
over.
out, mm,
Actually, I fully expect an Arkham Origins 2 at some point.
no.
Because they're like,
You
you're not
can't
going to
do-
make any more? It's
can't do a
okay.
double
We'll
prequel.
make more.
No, you can't do double prequels. No. What are you, Deus Ex? What's going on here? No. I don't know. I'm just
I
not.
guess that's it. I just remember the other thing I was like disappointed with was like I mean I already mentioned about the challenge things, but like you could play as Catwoman, Nightwing, Robin, and Batman in the challenge, and this one is just Batman except for that one team of one. So it's like whatever.
Yeah,
Besides the moments in the game where it's like you can have the dual takedown switcheroo, it's like that kind of felt deceptive.
Yeah.
From the way they showed it in the trailer. So I thought it was coming back the way it was in the city, but it didn't. So that was a letdown for sure. Especially after seeing Catwoman and like being in first person and looking at her character model and like, that hair Catwoman. Or like, oh, Catwoman, your character model is perfect. And it's even more better now with this amazing PS4 graphics. Oh.
Maybe they're planning on adding that extra stuff in like their season pass stuff or something. So
Maybe. Well, I will say though, like it felt like the setups in the city were more interesting than other like previous games. Because as I was going around taking out towers, I was like, oh, this feels kind of like the challenge room setups, except you don't have sort of the objectives that the challenge rooms give you. And I was like, yeah, there's just like so much variety in the different setups in the main game.
Especially the one where there's like 18 armed dudes. Like, I go into like the room, like I remember the room was like you're just like you stumble upon like the buildings that like have like all the dudes or whatever they should take down. Like I checked my detector, I was like 18 armed. I was like, oh, what? Like 16 armed. I was like, this what?
Wait, so how did you take that one?
Not the challenge. Wait, how did I what?
How did you take that one?
I don't remember it. I'd have to look at it. Just stealth as usual.
I found out the smoke pellet, like throwing it, you can do some pretty awesome stuff. Especially with like fully upgraded fear takedown.
Yeah.
And then all that stuff. I was like, oh man. That was very Batman-esque.
But that was like a cool next gen thing. Is like you would get to the situations where you had to do that, and it would be like in the world. It wouldn't be like an enclosed space like it would be in a city or asylum.
It's the current gen power, guys. Current gen power.
So good. Wait, so RPG, did you play anything else?
Of course I did. Not you guys. What was that?
I played other stuff.
I don't believe you.
Sort of.
Yeah, that sounds more appropriate. So yeah. You and your lies. You don't play games.
Yeah, this week I played probably too much. Like I spent a lot of time in Arkham Knight looking for Riddler trophies, and like playing New Game Plus, which is, man, I wish I had paid more attention during just regular game, because there's a lot of moves I'm not very good at countering, and then now that they don't give me the sort of markers above their heads, is I really don't know when to counter them. But no, I spent a lot of time playing Heroes of the Storm over the week, because I think it was yesterday. It's yesterday the 30th. Well, on the 30th, they launched the Eternal Conflict, which is the first Diablo-themed map.
Dun dun dun.
And they actually said, okay, so what we're going to do for this week, the launch week, is there will be fewer maps in the rotation. So usually I think there's 8 maps that can be selected. And for this week, there's only 4. And it's the newer maps, plus the newest map, Eternal Conflict. And I was like, oh, cool. So starting, I think it was like yesterday morning? I don't remember when. I started playing. I was like, okay, I'm going to play until I see the new map. And I actually didn't get to see the new map until after 12 midnight here yesterday. So actually on launch day, I did not get to see the new map. And I was like, is this a bug? Like, did they launch and then there's reports that, oh yeah, it's not working yet, so hang tight. And so I started asking people I got matched up with, like, has anyone seen the new map? And they're like, yeah. And I was just like, how am I so unlucky that I haven't seen the new map all day?
It's because you wanted to see it. That's what it was. You wanted it too much, Tropical.
Jesus.
You wanted it too much.
It was very sad. But I did get I thought I got pretty good with a support class Abathur who doesn't fight outside. He just sits at home and then like buffs other characters. Or basically, I've heard it described as Abathur, like he puts a hat on another character on your team and then can shoot like spikes out of it, basically, to help damage and do other stuff and like shield him and things like that. I found out there's this one move where you can actually clone one of your allies and turn into that character for 20 seconds, but you have way more damage than they do. And I wasn't using this skill at all until today as I tried it. And since I'd never used it before, I was very confused, and I think maybe the other side was also very confused because they were fighting our mage, and turns out she does a ton of damage. I didn't know this when I cloned her, but she was getting killed, and I was like, oh no, I have to help her. So I cloned her, and at the moment that she died, my clone came into existence right next to where she was and killed the two guys who killed her. And I was like, wow, that was amazing. That was... And sort of they must have thought, he was like, oh yeah, we got him, and sort of let their guard down and suddenly died from the character they thought they killed. I was like, oh, that was really neat. And yeah, like, so today I was watching some pro matches, and apparently that skill is the one that most pro players now use. And then they always use it on characters that have really high damage. And it's like, oh, I didn't know she had really high damage. Like, if I had known, I would not have been as impressed. I would have just been like, well, of course. But instead it was like, oh, that was so awesome.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, it's really neat. I've played... I think I've played 130 some games. Each one takes 20 to 30 minutes, so that's like over 50 hours.
It's too much work.
Game has only been out since June 2nd, I think.
A month? Wow. That's a
Yeah.
long time.
That's crazy. Did you play that one at all? Or did you just...
Briefly, and then I
okay.
got rid of it because I was like, because this is during my try apparently every MOBA that exists
your MOBA
weeks.
period.
And I was like, let me stop doing this now because nope.
Yeah, I learned today why Heroes of the Storm doesn't have an item shop like the other MOBAs. Because they basically were like, wait a minute, Arthas has Frostmourne. Why would he buy a fire sword? And I was like, huh, that's kind of true. And so they did away with the item shop and just went with this sort of talent system where it's like you can choose different talents as the team levels up as a whole. And that sort of differentiates and gives you different skills and stuff. So yeah, I'm watching that, playing that a lot. Today I was after having some pretty awesome wins, come from behind wins, I think too. I was watching pro, or I don't know if they're pro. It's just sort of the official tournament going on right now, and they're having, it's just North America Opens, which means anyone can join. And I was like, oh man, it would be so cool if I had a team and we could go try to do something there. Because at the end of every official broadcast, they have, it's like signups end July 8th. And competition starts July 11th for July North America Open. And I keep seeing it and saying, oh man, that would be really fun. If I don't know anyone else who plays. So yeah, that. And then the other thing I spend a lot of time with, though much less, is Fallout Shelter. my population has reached 150 some people. I think it's 200 is the maximum. And there's like two things that I found out. One, there's these rooms that you can build that train up special, the different attributes that every dweller has. And basically, like, I can see why people would use real money to buy lunchboxes, because it's going to take a long time to do some things. But since I'm not in a hurry, I'm just like, well, if I check it every day, then every 9 days, my dweller will be maxed out in whatever sort of training facility I have them in. So to have a character totally maxed out in all the attributes, it will only take 63 days if I check it once every day, and that's all I have to do. And so I'm just like, that's what I'm going to do. And so, yeah, now I've been playing it every day, but only for about like 5 or 10 minutes. I'll go in, it's like, click all, collect everything, and then it's like, okay, now I'm done. Because like my goal right now is to get a 24-hour expedition outside, and I've been unable to do it. The longest my dweller has been able to explore the wasteland is 20 hours, and she had 25 med packs with her, and it's like, that means you were using more than one per hour, and since you don't use any in the first like 4 or 5 hours, like, you were using a lot of them in the last few hours. So 20 hours away from the vault is pretty scary.
Does any of the Fallout Shelter stuff transfer over to Fallout 4, or is it just something to play until
I don't
it
think
comes
so.
out? Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's a time waster game.
Just to keep you busy until it happens.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, once you have maxed out strength, like, you can produce energy really fast out of a generator room. Like, I have 4 people who have maxed out strength in a generator room, and it takes every 30 seconds they produce 40 energy. So if I'm playing it all the time, then I never have to worry about energy. But for some reason, like, when you leave it alone, like, I guess this is how they make you come back. If you leave it alone, it doesn't collect them or whatever, so they don't produce as much, and then I'll often go back and it'll be like, oh, we don't have enough energy. It's like, that is impossible. Must I do everything?
Lies.
So that part's kind of annoying, but it's like, well, okay, 5 minutes a day. That's not too much to ask. So to get someone who can survive longer than 20 hours, I'm gonna rank up one character with all of the skills, and then send them out with my best weapon and some random piece of armor and all the med packs that I can make. Then another thing happened was so you know how I had like men and women living in the living quarters, and every time they had a kid, they would just go about making the next kid?
Yeah.
And my population was sort of growing out of control. It occurred to me that if 200 is the maximum, what happens if there are still pregnant women at 200? Are they just pregnant forever?
You're not supposed to ask those kind of questions, Tropical. You're not
Well,
supposed to ask those kind
I
of
was just like, no, I can't allow that to happen. So I've separated them. Like, all of my living quarters are either all men or all women now.
I mean, it's
And
possible they just won't let them get pregnant once you hit the cap or something, so...
I suppose that is possible too, but I don't really want to try it out, because if that happens, then I'm like, now I have to let someone die in the wasteland. Otherwise, it's like, either someone can die in the wasteland or you can be pregnant for eternity.
I kind of want you to test this out. I kind of want you to do this. You have to do it for science, Tropical. For science.
Maybe. We'll see.
I mean, what do you have to lose? Exactly. So, do it. Do it and make her suffer.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Maybe it'll turn into like some kind of super baby because it was incubated for so long or something.
Come out fully grown.
Yeah, it's gonna like pop out like facehugger style or something. Like,
Man, that's creepy.
it should be. It should be.
That would be very weird. But yeah, no. Well, the other reason was when you have more people and it just like grows exponentially, and I wasn't really paying attention. You run into food and water problems. Like you don't have enough, and then you have to build those, which means you need more power stations to generate power to run them. And I was like, this is like too hard to keep track of. Stop making babies. There's like 50 Wests in my vault now.
Oh my.
So I separated them all out, and now it's just like you'll just see 6 guys hanging out in the living quarters, all looking in one direction with that, the vault boy smile.
That's
What
not
is
creepy at all.
happening about?
Oh, you know. 'Cause they're thinking about things tropical. They're thinking terrible things. They're like, it's gonna be real fun when we get out of these living quarters, though. Real fun, guys.
Yeah, that man. It'd be funny if like Bethesda started adding more stuff to the game, stealth updates that they add like insanity and like fever and stuff like that.
I would love that.
Wow.
Because you'll just log in one day and just see like a bunch of dead bodies and be like, wait, what happened? It's like,
Why did
like
I
this person
arm
contracted-
everyone?
it's like this person contracted cabin fever and went crazy. It's like, oh.
I did start doing that. Like I started arming everyone
Dun,
because I
dun,
have so many
dun.
guns from out in the wasteland. And I was like,
Stay
yeah,
close.
you never know when a roach infestation is gonna happen.
That's
So
dangerous,
everyone have a
tropical.
gun.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. I started thinking, I was like, man, isn't that what America is like? It's like, but then to be fair, they don't seem to go crazy and shoot each other in Fallout Shelter, so
Yeah.
it seems like it's like in Fallout Shelter this is the right choice.
Yeah, for now.
Unless,
Right up
stealth
until that
updates.
update. Like,
Yeah.
There was a massive shootout.
it's like you're gonna come in and see like a Mexican standoff and be like, wait, what is going on? What is going on? They're like, we don't have enough food. Some people have to go.
I don't want to be pregnant anymore.
It's true. like,
Someone's gotta die.
it's like, just calm down, man. Just calm down. It's like everybody's not telling me to calm down. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad. But I don't think Bethesda ever does things like that in their games, so you might be okay.
Hopefully. So yeah, that's where that's at. It's become it's like my Final Fantasy IX, which progresses really slowly.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
It's all Heroes of the Storm now.
At every turn, tropical. At every turn.
Good. And Batman. I want to see what happens.
Batman.
Yeah,
wins.
after you see that one part, and then when you're taking down the towers, there's like that other guy.
Oh yeah, did you get to that part where you face him down, Tropical?
Not yet.
It's cool. It is.
Oh man, that was very surprising.
Yeah,
I was like,
little thing.
oh, that's. And I was like, wow. I was very
Yeah, it was
surprised.
cool. Like when I was doing all the side stuff, it just felt like the game that like kept on giving. But then after I did it, and I was like, oh, I still can't see the extended ending. I was like, eh. I felt like all the way down to my soul because I was like, starting New Game Plus, but I was like, I already know what's gonna happen. I've done all this stuff. Yeah,
Well,
whatever.
so the cool part is like New Game Plus like carries over the Riddler trophies, so you can do them in either playthrough, and there's just like one shared pool. That's what I'm doing right now. Except I got to like this one part where I had the gadget, but it was like, oh, I can't do that right now. I was like, why not? I have it. I got it from the previous playthrough. It's like, oh, wait, you weren't there.
Paradox.
I know. Like the new Terminator movie.
Do you actually know what triggers the extended ending though? Or you just like kind of playing and hoping that you get?
Yeah, it tells you
Oh,
in the menu.
well, that's useful.
It's fairly traditional type extended ending thing. If you beat the game, you get one ending. If you do everything in the game, you get a different ending
Oh,
or another ending.
well, it's not. I wish games wouldn't do things like that because it's like, well, I don't want to do everything. Because I mean, most RPGs that have multiple endings, it's usually like things that trigger it instead of 100% completion stuff. Thankfully, because yeah, that I would never see any true endings of anything. Because
10-2 was 100% completion
oh,
ending, right?
I don't. I think that was one of the ways to do it. I think there was more than one method.
Yeah. I think 13-2 had something like that also.
No.
Oh, really?
Because the way it's set up is like there's one ending and like you have all your paradox endings or whatever, but like their quote unquote true ending is more of like a just like a secret mocking you ending because it's not really an ending. So it's kind of just like, well, what was the point of this then? So
Did Kingdom Hearts 2 have that type of ending?
none of the Kingdom Hearts games have alternate endings. They all just have sad endings. Sorry.
Wasn't one like, how did you see the Birth by Sleep or the thing that eventually
Oh, you're
became
talking about like
Birth by Sleep?
those things. Oh,
Yeah.
usually with the Kingdom Hearts games to get like those endings, all you have to do is just play it on like a high difficulty.
Okay.
They only make you like jump through hoops if you play it like on normal.
I was about to say, because I remember having to like get all the Dalmatians or something.
Yeah, you only if you like play on normal, then they do force you to do that, and you can't even get it if you play on easy. So it's like, but like on hard, although Birth by Sleep, I think even on the harder difficulties, you just had to do less than thing because I think you had to get like a certain number of trophies and get all the research reports and stuff, and then you get the endings. But like the amount you needed was just smaller the higher the difficulty you played, kind of thing. So. But those aren't really like extended
Batman
endings
could
though.
do
Those are
something
more
like
just
that.
like
Or I guess it wouldn't make sense actually for the Batman ending.
because they're more just like teasers for the next game. They're not really extended endings.
Maybe there's one of those here. We actually haven't seen it, so
Dun dun dun.
Superman comes and says, "Come with us."
Justice League.
Oh man. Oh man. It's so annoying too because they like totally reference like some like we already like talked about last week. They reference like,
Yeah.
so many other places
So many
in the
references.
DCU.
Did you see? I saw it in the art book. There's like 2 travel posters in the game. One says "Fly," and it's like "Come to Metropolis," and another one's like "Run, come to whatever city that is."
No.
Central City.
Maybe. Yeah, I didn't see him in the game either, but I saw him in the concept art somewhere. It's like, oh, those are cool.
Did you listen to the answering machine in Bruce Wayne's office?
Yeah.
That was cool. That was awesome. That was like the coolest thing.
Yep. Oh man.
Lex Luthor here.
I hope they would make a Superman game, but actually they've said that it's sort of impossible. It's like, is that true?
Well, many people have tried different ways to, and
Yeah.
We have tried
like-
all have failed.
yeah, because I mean, because the problem with Superman is it's like how it's like with Batman, he's human, so it's like okay, if he logic, I mean, he can believably get killed or beat up by these guys because he's like overwhelmed. But with Superman, it's kind of just like, well, he's Superman. So unless everyone is walking around with a chunk of kryptonite in their pocket, it's
Well,
like,
like so they've depowered Superman over the years for one thing. He
yeah,
used to
but
be like,
he's
oh, move
still
this planet, no
Superman.
problem. But now it's like he doesn't. He is less um invincible. He's just like
He's
really,
less
really hard
invincible.
to, really, really hard to do anything to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just he's still too powerful though. It's like he's
I mean,
basically
if you
like,
take like Justice League season one, that's Superman.
but he's basically like he's like the human embodiment of Batman's utility belt. He has like it's like there is not a situation that he will not be able to solve. If he can, it's like, well, it's like don't worry, guys. I have a vision or a breath for for every situation that may come up. I
Or I
also
could
have.
just punch it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I say. I also have super strength, so when in
Right
doubt,
through it.
it's like,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, Batman, I think is really good because it really is about the experience of being Batman. You know, they could have been. It seems like their earlier tests internally were sort of like, oh, how do we make a good Batman game? But then the more parts that I see of the games, like, yeah, it really is like every aspect of Batman you sort of get to experience those. Like, I talk about the obsession thing with Calendar Man. It's like that is, you know, if you're going for that trophy, you are obsessed like Batman is, because that's just all the happiest holidays, and I'm just gonna turn on my game here and listen to some sadistic story from this guy in this prison who, you know, he
well, I've
doesn't
heard
do anything or go anywhere. You just sit there and listen to him, and once you've listened to all 12 holidays, which takes a year, you get that trophy.
Well, I've heard, but because some people I saw posting, like in commenters and stuff, said that you could just artificially turn your clock to each or your date
Yeah,
into
like you could
holiday.
cheat it that
'Cause
way.
there's people who've done that just to get around that whole. Yeah, let me go check in with him every holiday and
But still,
see
like, you know,
what he
the
has going on.
the spirit, like the idea behind that trophy, like if you're doing it the way it's supposed to be done, that's kind of like what it's like inside of Batman's head. Even during the good times, like he's always it's
Well,
going bad.
does he really have any good times? I mean, he got sidekicks getting killed. His parents got killed. It's like every time you turn around, someone's getting paralyzed or kidnapped or murdered. It's like he doesn't have a lot of good times. I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, exactly. What other people would consider good times, like, is not in his mind. And it's just like, wow, that's. So, you know, what is the experience of being Superman?
um,
Is it. Because I kind of think it's like you can do anything.
I mean, I would assume so. Except
So, yeah, it's like putting that into a game is like, how would you. Because I've thought about it a lot over the years. Like, how would you make a Superman game? Like, what aspect of Superman can you possibly do? Like, being able to do everything is really hard to do in a game because there's sort of technical limitations.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're a bit limited to.
I mean, the game where you can do anything, like, that's what people have been trying to make. Like, they've been trying to make Dungeons and Dragons, the paper tabletop game, in a digital form since the beginning of video games. And it's still not, you still don't have the 100% freedom that you sort of had making those tabletop versions.
Well, you don't have the same technical limitations with those than you have with
But so it's just like, you know, what other aspect maybe would be interesting? One thing that I thought was sort of interesting in Arkham Knight was like there are parts where it's about restraint, and that is sort of part of Batman's character too. Like, there are people that he deals with that he must really want to kill, but he won't because he's Batman.
all of them because because they cause quite a bit of problems.
Like there's a part where you interrogate one guy by threatening to run over his head with the Batmobile.
Oh my.
Did you? You probably didn't try this. But it was like, I wonder what happens if you don't let go of the throttle. Does it just
No,
run
try
over
to
and then
not
it says
try-
game over?
Although I'm guessing, I mean, has anyone ever actually called Batman on his bluffs though? Because it's like, well, if everyone knows that he doesn't kill, it's like,
The thing, like, I was thinking about that. I think the thing is, the things that Batman does to you, even though you know that he doesn't kill, he might kill you by accident in the ways that he interrogates. Like the Batmobile threatening to run over a guy's head when the tire is already on his head. And, you know, like, the wheels could... a million different things could happen, and you could just die, and Batman would have... You know, basically he could stand there and be like, oops.
like he accidentally
when
sneezed
he's
and hit the
holding your
remote or
leg
something.
and-
He's like,
and
whoops.
dangling you over the side of a building, he may not, you know, intentionally kill you, but you could accidentally die.
Or you could just pull Daredevil and like push you and be like, haha, but you'll survive. It'll be a hard landing, but you'll survive.
Well, you might not survive. Yeah.
So I think that's what it is. They're not, because he's their enemy, I guess. They don't trust him. And really, like, can you trust a guy who's gonna hold you over a building and like, you know, even if he's the strongest guy in the world, like, what if it slips? What if one of your buddies runs up and pushes him from behind and thinks that he's saving you?
Right? It's like, oh no,
It's
you
just like-
idiots. You just
So
zoomed
many
me.
things could happen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Because, I mean, obviously, I guess his, like, bigger villains, like Joker, is, like, called his bluff because he's still alive, obviously. But it's like, well, not in the games, but, like, in the broader Batman universe, I'm assuming, because Joker seems like he's pushed his, he's jumped over that line a few times and circled around the world and
Oh, have
crossed
you
it
seen
again.
the Batman Beyond movie RPG?
Which one? The one with the
Joker
Return of the
Returns,
Joker
yeah.
one?
Joker.
Because I
I
just
have.
in there like that.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. It's been so long, but yeah, because I remember because that's the one where he like takes over Tim,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. But it's like because it's like he Joker just pushes like I mean, come on. So obviously he knows he's not gonna kill him because it's like he's jumped over this line so many times. He's like practically tap dancing on it. And he's like, yep, and there's nothing you're gonna do about it. So it's like. I'm just curious as to if anybody else has called his bluff on this because it's like, well, yeah, he may torch you, but you're still gonna live. So I mean,
So in Arkham Knight, there are reasons for the thugs, like general common criminal populace, to believe that he might kill you. And like, you know, so many things for them, like Batman, a lot of it is about myth and rumor. So they don't really know. Like, they kind of know that Batman doesn't kill people, but then some stuff happened in the previous game, and they're like, man, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, they're watching Batman drive around in a tank, and they're sort of like, he's gone crazy. He's going around, like, shooting people in his tank.
Or the fact that everybody that encounters him ends up in the hospital with broken bones.
Yeah, they're talking about, it's like, is it a good idea? Because we just destroyed the emergency room.
Yeah.
it's like we did not think this through. So,
But yeah, like a Superman game. There was that Superman Returns game that had sort of an interesting idea where they were like,
they gave
Batman-
didn't they give the
Superman
city,
doesn't-
like, the health thing?
yeah, like
Yeah.
Superman doesn't need a health bar, so they gave it to Metropolis. I think the problem with that one though is like the game itself was not good. the idea, maybe that's a workable idea, but then it was just like Superman punching tons and tons of robots, and just like, not fun.
Well, I mean, I guess the only thing can really show him punching outside of other like superpowered beings. Otherwise, there'd be a lot of gore involved in these games.
So maybe that's a way to do a Superman game is like a lot of his life is about restraint. So instead of maybe, oh, I guess they took the analog buttons away. Maybe it could all be shoulder buttons. And I was like, you can't mash it down all the way, otherwise bad stuff happens.
I don't know, because some people might be playing and get too into it and not realize they're pressing something too hard. Yeah.
Another thing is perhaps it would have to be some sort of like really creative destruction type game. I was watching Superman versus the Elites, I think it was called. Have you seen that one,
I haven't
Tekken?
seen that one.
Oh, it's like he meets these other superpowered people, and he's like, "Oh, cool! They're like helping fight crime, but then they're also going around like killing people because they're bad." And there was a part where he's sort of mentoring them and telling them, like, "Yeah, it's more about being creative with your skills. Like, how strong are you in that way?" And like this. I think it was like a train that was stuck in a tunnel under lots of water or something. And they like just cut that part out with heat vision and then lifted it out of the water. So that's part of the you can do anything. It was like, yeah, creative problem solving perhaps with
But then they'd have to think of all these things and they'd have to
yeah.
creative problem solve, because then it's like, well, what if somebody decided to solve it this way instead or solve it this way instead? Because it's like,
Yeah.
So unless they go
I
like
wonder-
like a Batman's origins route where they like do a young Superman where he's coming into his power, so he can't do everything. But
Doesn't
then it's
blow
like,
people away.
yeah, just so it's like, but then at the same time, then it's like, well, people want to play a game where as Superman where they can't be Superman. So it's like,
I guess another thing, like Superman, if you look at who he is, he's basically a Greek hero. Like the Greek heroes were essentially invincible and could do everything, but they always had one weakness, and that exactly describes Superman. Are there any Greek hero games that are really, really good that aren't God of War?
I don't think they exist.
There was a Jason and the Argonauts game, wasn't there?
I have no idea.
Neither do I.
What that one's like. Anyway, just fun game design thought puzzle. How to make a Superman game.
Just don't.
Yeah, the other thing I was thinking of, like, No Man's Sky has this technology where they can make these infinitely expansive worlds. I was like, and my wife was watching me play Arkham Knight, and she was like, "Is Gotham City an island?" I was like, "Wait, it's how many islands do they have?" And I was explaining that, yeah, because like open worlds, you can't make them unlimitedly large. So far, ever since Grand Theft Auto 3, they're all on islands. And I was like, oh, it would be kind of cool if they had, maybe your main game area was this sort of just very intricate city, and then beyond that, you use something like No Man's Sky, where it procedurally generates the rest of the world. Nothing else is going on out there, but at least you won't have to put invisible walls.
I think I either read an article about that or I was thinking about that after GTA 5 came out, of like if there was like a like the three city like main hub is just connected via like transportation thingies like airports or subways or something. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But yeah. maybe I don't remember. I don't remember. Curses.
Oh man, that'd be cool. Wow, we have not had a true next gen GTA yet. Mm.
It's not gonna happen because then people will be expecting too much.
All right, so that's what I've been playing, and apparently thinking of.
Also, I
RPG,
think
did you
in
wanna-
the animated The Dark Knight Returns Part 2, it might be in Part 1, whatever, they have a part with the whole Batman, the Joker, and how he always wants to kill him, and something like that.
Mm.
Because I've seen in a few medias or a few, I don't know, it might have been a movie or something where he's like always kind of like trying to goad him into it because he knows he won't. So it's like, I don't know, one day he's gonna push him too far and just gets like, you know what? You're right. I do need to just go ahead and get rid of you.
Well,
And,
that's Joker, right? He sees it as a win-win.
yeah, because then
It's
he would
like
have gotten
if you
him to
don't
break
kill
his
me,
rule. Yeah.
yeah, it's like if you don't kill me, then I keep doing what I do, and if you do kill me, then I win because you did the thing that you didn't want to do.
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk like that. Although I guess he's the only one. I mean, I guess that's why he's Batman's arch nemesis or something, because only he would be able to get away with stuff like that. So, yeah. Mhm.
So, yeah,
Go ahead, Tropical.
RPGs play time thingy.
What?
What have you been playing?
Oh, stuff and things. So
What?
I know, right? Well, Dagger finally got up to a point where she was able to summon me. Unfortunately, she like beat most of the game by that point because she would have had to beat the same soul level thingy I had. So we played a bit today and went through some of the levels she was having trouble on because I think she kept getting lost or something. So she was like doing a lot of the worlds in like random orders and didn't know where she was going. So yeah, that was going well for her, I guess. But what was the boss? Oh yeah, she was like in the undead crypt or something. So we fought like the Bell Knight guy there, and she said we were in the middle of the fight and she got killed. She's like, sorry, I got scared, so I forgot how to block. I was like, okay, good job. So we had to go do that boss fight again, but we killed a few of the bosses and just kind of went through. And I got her up to the dragon up to the dragon palace thing before she had to go. So I think those are the last two areas she has left before we have to do the final boss stuff. So she will be done with that soon. But yeah. It's, nice. And then I picked up what the hell's the game called? Puzzles and Dragons Z and the Puzzle Dragon Super Mario edition
Oh.
thing. That combo game thing. So I started playing that. It's like, well, the Puzzle and Dragon. Well, actually, they both are. They're kind of like one part. What's that matching game with the
Bejeweled.
no the
Planet
circle
Puzzle League?
ones. No, Must Have Moved. There we go. That one.
Ah.
It's like one part Bust a Move, one part like Pokemon kind of thing. Because it's like you have like a monster capture or not. It's not really a capture element. It's like because you get the eggs that you can hatch like monsters and add them to your team with, and then the kind of like the crux of the gameplay is like you matching the orbs on the touchscreen to like get things to attack. So like by matching the different elements and like matching a certain number of them and doing combos and stuff, you can kind of get whatever the corresponding monsters and stuff on your team to do attacks and everything to take on bosses and stuff. And I mean the early stuff is pretty simple, I guess, because they get you used to it. But then I started coming across like bosses and some enemies that have like things that cause like status effects, like they'll cause your the bottom screen to go dark, so you have to kind of just guess at the orbs you're moving and hope to match them, kind of thing. And they have stuff like that, so they mix it up a bit to keep things interesting a bit. But the Mario version of it is it's slightly more streamlined than the Puzzles and Dragons one, because I guess since it's like what's it called when you use your license stuff for stuff, that
Your licensed stuff. What? First party?
I don't know.
In-house?
Maybe I don't know. Anyway, it's their Mario stuff. So it's like you can recruit. Well, I'm still kind of early in the game because I think I just beat like the first world or whatever. But it's like you start off with like Mini Mario and Mini Luigi as your team leaders kind of thing. And I just unlocked Super Mario and Super Luigi, and they're dual types, so they can attack based on multiple combinations and stuff. But that aside, it's like you can like recruit like Goombas and or not paratroopers. You have to actually create them. You can recruit like Goombas and the Koopa Troopas and stuff, and like you can go to the Toad House to combine them with like transformation objects to create like the paratroopers or the Goomba stacks and stuff like that. So you can have those added to your team to do stuff too. So, but it's a cute little game. It's pretty simplistic, so it's not like too hard for anybody to like pick up and play. But some of the bosses can be a little tough since you're like trying to juggle the creating the combos and matching at the same time and watching your health, because otherwise the bosses can do some serious damage. So, but yeah, it's fun little time waster, and yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Alrighty then.
So I have a question for RPG actually. With the patch to Bloodborne, can you guys just carry me through the whole game? Theoretically?
In theory, yes.
And is it only you can summon 2 people, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Because now they've patched it where our levels aren't like a wall. That means you can essentially just summon any strong player that you know.
But so you need the password thing, and then you can do that, right?
Yes. Otherwise, you'll just be summoning random people who happen to be in that area.
Yeah, because I was watching the latest PlayStation Underground episode. Is they actually had Shuhei Yoshida playing Bloodborne, just for the heck of it, and I guess to talk a bit about the new patch. And he's like level 172 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Is that high?
That's a good question, because I don't even remember what level my character is.
Okay. Yeah, like I had heard he's pretty good at it, but watching him play, I was like, well, I mean, he was talking at the same time, but then again, he was also saying, it's like, yeah, see, like, I'm not even that good, and I got the platinum, and I was like, huh. I was talking to a GameStop employee, and she was saying, yeah, I mean, it is a game where you die over and over and over again. And I was like, perhaps I got discouraged too soon.
You did. Well, see, the thing is, because like I think Father, whatever the hell his name is like probably one of the hardest ones in the game. Strangely enough, because he's kind of like unexpected to be that difficult that early in the game. So it's kind of just like, oh, this is not fun. What is going on here? So it gets a bit more manageable as you go. Although there are still some bosses that are kind of like, okay, this is ridiculous. But he's a serious wake up call for that early in the game.
Because in the episode he was fighting, it was like a fire dog or whatever in like.
Oh, that's a chalice dungeon then.
Yeah, a chalice dungeon, and it was this one where like you only have half of your health or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, yeah, people say this is the hardest boss in the game. And well, I guess like part of it is figuring out the strategy, and so since he had a strategy, he was just like it didn't seem that difficult. And I remember, yeah, when I started the game, I beat up a bunch of stuff barehanded because I didn't know where to get a weapon. And at that time, I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing pretty good. But then I guess it was that one boss. And I was like, even when I summoned someone, we didn't make it.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. You just didn't summon the right people. You just didn't summon
Maybe.
the right people.
It was weird. I was like, what's going on? Like, is he gonna die? Like, but then I'm the host, right? So I'm more important. So I'm just gonna run away. And it came and killed me. It's like, well, not playing this right now.
Yeah, although I've heard that flaming dog isn't really that hard, especially compared to some of the other bosses. Because I've been to the challenge dungeons, and there's some much harder bosses than that thing in there. So I don't know. I don't know what he was doing.
I don't know anything because I haven't beat the first boss. I have beat a boss, but apparently he turned out to not be
optional.
important.
Yeah. You're welcome. Set the game.
Yeah.
Because
I was like, yay! It's like, wait, I can't go anywhere. Dang it!
I think the only thing the cleric beast gives you is like an unlock to buy the starter weapons.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, and that's kind of pointless because you can find them all. So
Well, we will see. They revealed July's PlayStation Plus games this week.
Are
They are. I think they're pretty good. So Rocket League, which is the sequel to Super Acrobatic Rocket Powered something cars, whatever.
Wow, I do not even know it.
It was a very long. It's basically like soccer, but with little remote control cars.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I haven't played it. Then Sticks, Master something.
Master Shadows.
Master of Shadows.
I'm glad
yeah,
it's free because I don't want to buy it.
It was super cheap, actually.
Yeah, I think it was cheap. I just
What is it?
It's a stealth game.
Oh, guess I won't be playing that then. Nope on that.
It's a really good looking stealth game, though I don't think it reviewed that highly, which is probably why most people have not heard of it. Mousecraft, which I guess is a puzzle game. And
Nice.
yeah, it's like you play this mad cat scientist or whatever, and you're like, I guess it's sort of like Lemmings maybe, and you just build bridges so these mice can get to cheese.
Oh, sometimes I just wonder what some people are thinking when they make games. And they're just, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Because like, have you ever wondered what it'd be like to be a squid? No, I have not. But thanks for asking.
And then I think the fourth one is Entwined, which was that game that they announced at an E3 and said, and it's available now. And you play as a fish and a bird, and you fly through these tunnels and try to get these color plates.
So many drugs, man.
I'm fairly certain this one, they were just like, what is something fun that you can do with a controller? That would be challenging and we could make into a game. And then they came up with this, and then they were like, okay, what's a sort of indie game PlayStation-ish type story that we could attach to this mechanic? So those are the PS4 ones. PS3 gets Rain, which was... That's kind of a stealth game?
Wait, is that the one with the
It's a stealth
kid
horror
that's
game.
like invisible when you...
Yeah.
I actually wanted to play that when it was first announced, but now that I know it's a stealth game, oh man, I don't know. I am terrible at stealth games.
Yeah, that one.
Or stealth
And
fear-inducing. Or stealth panic-inducing.
I think the other free game is for Vita. It's Geometry Wars 3.
Mm. Meh.
Yeah, I looked up the game I got on the flash sale. It's Hand of Fate.
Oh, okay. That was not the one I was thinking.
Yeah, Dagger told me she picked that one up too. At first, I was semi-interested in it because I heard it was like card battle. I was like, oh, I love card battle games. But then I saw it and I was like, this isn't a card battle game at all. This is lies. This is what that is. So,
Oh man, I forgot. I played Hearthstone because I've never won a game against a real person in Hearthstone, and I think it's because
people cheat.
it's just I've neglected entirely building a deck. So I played with a custom deck, but it might as well have been a random deck because I just built it out of nothing, and it was a devastating loss. Like, it was so bad because I was doing really well throughout, but then it got to a point where I only had 3 min. Like, he was down to 4 or 5 health. You start with 30, I think, and I still had 20 something maybe. And I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to win this. And I had these cards that basically when you played them, they would summon more minions that had taunt. And what taunt is basically your opponent can only target taunt cards until those taunt cards are destroyed, and then they can target whatever they want. But my taunts were really weak. They were like, they had no attack and only 1 health each. But I was like, he's almost dead, and I have these other 2 cards, so minions, so I should be fine. But then he played 2 taunt cards in a row, and these were like really strong ones. They were like 4 attack, 5 health ones. And suddenly I found myself in a position like, wait a second, now I have to kill the taunt cards first before I can deal the death blow to the guy, and they have 10 health cumulatively. And like when you attack in Hearthstone, you also take damage. So basically, like, I had to sacrifice all of my minions to kill the 2 taunt cards, and suddenly I had no minions, and he had like 3 or 4 of them. And we each only had 1 card in our hands. I forget exactly what happened, but in the end, like, it came down to one. Like, he just had the card that allowed him to kill me before I could kill him, and he only had 1 health left.
He believed in the heart of the card shop.
He had 1 health. He got the card. Like, we had no cards, and he drew the 1 card. And, I can't for the life of me remember, but I was just like, he said, "Well played," and then played the card, and he had exactly enough damage to take out all of my health points. And I was just like, I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah, because I came across one battle one time when I was like online, and I mean, we were fine. I mean, I was doing fine, but then like towards the end of the match, he started pulling out these cards. I was like, I'm pretty sure you're just making these cards up. And I was like, how does it even have? It's like cards shouldn't have these many abilities into one card, because it was like some card where it was like a defensive buff where he gets like 9 health and then it like does like 10 damage across the board. And I was like, how is this even a card? And it's like he just like destroyed my lineup, and I was like, well, there goes that fight. Because it's like we were fine. It was like neck and neck, and then those cards start coming out, and I'm like, did I miss something? Like, where does he get these cards from? And he had like 3 of them. I was like, well, I lost. So it's like this is not gonna work. So
it was terrible, and it was funny because like it's match made, and I already have the lowest rank. Like I can't go any lower.
I know,
And he
right?
was also the lowest rank, so it was like this epic match that happened at the lowest ranks.
It's like, can you imagine what like the top tier players have in there? I wouldn't even survive like a round.
Man, Blizzard, they know how to get you. Like it's all cross game promotion now. Um, if you so I got a card back from playing Heroes of the Storm, and then if I can get to a certain level in Heroes of the Storm, then I can get this mount in here. Or sorry, if I get to a certain level in Hearthstone, then I can get this mount in Heroes of the Storm. And I was like, oh man, they really are. I'm kind of considering playing all of their games.
That's how they get you.
Yep. There was another cool thing I saw this week. There's apparently a game being made called Allison Road.
I heard about that.
It's like in very much in the style of PT, which got me thinking about all that stuff. Like how Mighty Number 9 is basically Mega Man, and Bloodstained is basically Castlevania. It's like Kojima and get the team back together. You don't have to call it Silent Hills. In fact, like I'm pretty sure it would have been totally different from any of the Silent Hill games anyway. We just want to see what it was. And you can just do it. As long as you just call it something else.
Not Silent Hills.
Yeah,
I know, right?
exactly.
Totally not Silent Hills.
You could just call it
Again.
The Hills. Although I think that's taken too. Anything.
It could be called like Why It's Not Valleys or something.
Why I left Konami.
It's sort of crazy that nothing like Allison Road has come out yet. Because oftentimes when I'm seeing articles about Unreal Engine 4, it's just like people have made these really realistic looking apartments and like just normal places in Unreal Engine 4, and they look really lifelike. It's like, oh, so Allison Road is basically that, except they made a horror game inside of it, which is what PT was basically. So it'd be really neat. Like even if I want to see Kojima's, because I think it would have been really trippy. But since it's much easier to get onto PlayStation these days, someone should just make. And of course, I'm not going to play it, but someone should just make something in the style of PT, like Allison Road, and do all of the crazy stuff that was in PT. I'm referring, of course, to all of the hardware things. You heard that, right? Like, people think that you were supposed to say a certain thing into the microphone in order to make...
Well, according to Gamer, he said just having it plugged in was enough to trigger it or something, but I don't know.
Well, like either, that's all really cool. I think when you take the features of a console and do unexpected stuff with it,
because
like
we've seen him do it before. So
yeah,
of course you expect that kind of stuff.
It's like indies. That is totally an indie thing these days for indies to do. They should be doing stuff like that.
Maybe they aren't just twisted in the head as he is. I don't know what's going on
I'm
in his
still
head
concerned that Silent Hills someone would have died. If they made it Morpheus compatible, like someone would have died.
It's like if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Someone somewhere. If you die in real life, you die in the game. Because
this is also, I don't believe in virtual reality. All those Japanese animes have told me it's bad, so I can't get on board because someone's gonna trap me inside a game and force me to play for my life, and I'm like, nope, nopey, nope, nope, nope. So, no, I refuse.
Oh, also, apparently the original voice of the main character in Shenmue is going to be in Shenmue 3, reprising the role
He's not like
a
super
decade
old now,
later.
is he? Like, it's not gonna be one of those things where it's like with Sora and that kid that's been voicing him for the past.
I wonder what that's going to be like. You think they're going to use the same voice?
He's already been signed on for it, but it's
Oh,
like,
really? Does
yeah,
he sound like I can't remember if he sounds
he's
similar.
he sounds older, and he's noticeably older in the other in the later games because it's like, yeah,
Oh, okay.
you are not a kid anymore. Because I mean, if you compare like the original Kingdom Hearts to, I guess, like 3D, it's like it's most noticeable, especially because of the difference in the time. So it's like
Mhm.
he sounds. I mean, I guess he can still kind of pull it off since it is like him making a character voice, so it's not like it's his natural voice.
Mhm.
So,
Are-
but he does sound noticeably old. He does sound somewhat older.
Did they have the original cast in the later games, or just him?
Yes,
Oh,
they're all,
really?
because some of them, even the ones that weren't playable still appeared, and some of them actually voiced other characters. But some of them, like, because actually, as a matter of fact, his voice actor voiced somebody, but his is more spoilery than the other ones. So, but it's like, yeah, they try to keep them around. So,
So, like,
they're all-
that guy who played Riku is still playing Riku,
yes,
and
he's still the same guy.
the cheerleader is still playing
Hers is an odd
Surface.
case because they've been they've been like, because she played it initially and then someone took over for her for a different game, but then she took over for that person again for something else, and then she did all the flashbacks for that person, and then I think it's like been a back and forth, but she's like the main person. She's considered the main person for her,
Huh.
so it's weird.
Weird.
But yeah, at least the main cast, some of the supporting characters have switched actors, but that just might be just a I don't know, just a couldn't get the original voice actors back kind of thing.
Hmm.
Because they're gonna have to do that for Xehanort since that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually curious as to what they're gonna do for that because he's kind of the main villain.
Oh, wasn't he? Didn't they just show a really young version in the trailer recently?
It's complicated. Is the only thing I could, the only thing I could say to that. It's especially after 3D's big revelation. It's complicated.
And 3D isn't in any of the HD compilations.
It is not.
Great.
So you would so you would actually have to play that one on 3DS. There's no way around that one for the time being.
Wait, let me see. Crap.
Although it's likely because since they only had 3 games in the first one, they probably only wanted to put 3 games in the second one. So unfortunately, 3D got odd-manned out since it was the 7th.
Wonder what. Well, also the 3DS is still a like current system.
It is. Hmm.
Sad. All right, maybe too much to play.
You should
Yeah,
divide up the gaming responsibilities between your family. It'd be easier.
I was just thinking about that today because I haven't really played much Wii U, but my family has, and it's just like I don't feel like this console is wasted. Like it gets tons of use.
Yeah. So, I mean, as long as it's getting used by somebody, that's all that matters. So.
Yep. Hmm. There was an article today about it was like an interview with Shuhei Yoshida, and he was talking about that thing where I forget who someone at Sony said that they have a sparse first party lineup this year.
Mhm.
But he was saying that, well, actually, we have like 10 games coming out, and yeah, they're not like AAA style games, but they're it's really diverse, and they sort of third parties are releasing lots of AAA that style games, and so it sort of makes sense for us to have just these weird other type games coming out near them.
Did no one call Microsoft out on that too? Because it's not like they have a giant first party lineup coming out this year either.
Uh, well, I mean, I guess people are talking about the holidays essentially. And they're just like, yeah, Halo, Tomb Raider, Forza, and Fable. Basically, oh, and Gears Remaster. So basically everything they have is coming out this year.
Mhm. Some of those aren't first party though. As a matter of fact, I don't think any of those are first
Or
party.
not a remaster. ...
They're all first party.
No, Tomb Raider isn't
Oh, right.
first
Tomb Raider is
party.
not first party.
And I'm pretty sure, and I mean, some of the, well, I mean, I guess they did buy out the studio, but I mean, I don't think that counts though.
Like, they made 343. They're making Halo. They
Eh,
bought the Gears franchise and started a studio to make Gears games.
I don't think that counts. That's like
Turn
cheating.
10 they bought at some point. And Lionhead they bought at some point too.
Yeah, that's cheating. That's not the same as actual first party stuff.
Well, I mean, like, Sony bought Naughty Dog and
After the fact,
Media
I guess,
Molecule.
but still, they didn't
and
they didn't buy the rights to something and then just make somebody else do it for them and pretend it was first party. It's like, no, it's totally from the same people, guys. It's totally not.
I think Rise of the Tomb Raider is actually published by Microsoft Game Studios for this year.
I think that's the only reason why it was exclusive for the time
Yeah,
being.
that's a weird thing. I don't know. I mean, personally, I think there's just too much to play anyways, so
Yeah, I was
It's
like, are we really hurting for games
Yeah,
this
like,
holiday season?
if nothing came out for the rest of the year, I would still have too many games to play.
So yeah, man, I think it's okay if they spread it out a bit. It's fine. I don't think we'll be like, oh no, I have nothing to play, guys. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. So yeah, and I think the only first party game I was looking forward to anyway was Until Dawn. So wait, was that first party?
Oh yeah, that's one
Yep.
part of that too.
That's
Yeah.
first party.
So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm good because that's coming out soon anyway. So
August. Wow, that is really soon. Wait, when does Ant-Man come out? Are you guys seeing that one?
Yep, 17th.
July 17th.
Dang it. I almost rented Lego Jurassic World today just so I could know what happens in Jurassic World.
That's sad.
It's like, I mean, it's going to be all cutesy, but I get the gist of it. And then eventually I will see the serious version.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably kind of guess what happens if you considered. Like, yeah.
I can guess
opens,
part of
has
it.
problems. Dinosaur
There is
issues
disaster.
ensue.
People make bad decisions.
Some people
Some
live,
live,
some
some
people die.
For some reason, Prague is not destroyed.
I know, right?
Room for sequel.
Insert sequel tease here.
It's like, no matter, despite all the damage they cause, for some reason that park stays open. So yeah, someone is bad ideas, guys. Bad decision making skills.
They skipped Jurassic Land. They went straight for World.
Maybe they're just gonna be like Jurassic Universe next time. It's just gonna be like the grand finale or something. It's like, we got T-Rexes that can breathe in space, guys.
Yeah, we never got Arkham State.
Well, I mean, Arkham Knight is like not technically like
Slightly bigger.
So yeah, it's not like well. But I mean, Batman doesn't really patrol the whole state. So I mean, you would hope there's not like in crazy people like that in his entire state, because otherwise, it's like people should just move.
I know.
Because I would not want to live there.
It's weird that people live in Gotham.
I know, right? It's like under constant threat of plants trying to eat your face, psychos trying to gas bomb you at every turn. It's like, why would you live here? Why? So I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming everything's like super cheap there. The cost of living must be like
Cost of living is super cheap.
yeah, it's like so that could be the only logic behind it.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really see anything else other than that. And, this is not the group to have the discussion. It's like, are indie games worthy of being offered as PlayStation Plus games? Because all of us think yes. There's nothing to be said here about that. All you people are crazy. And first of all, like, Rain comes from a major publisher. Styx comes from a major publisher.
I think it's from, well, I mean, at least
Geometry Wars comes from Activision, a major publisher.
I think it's just a good idea in general, because like for things like that, a lot of times they don't get they don't get the same marketing and stuff that bigger games get. So for stuff like this is like, if somebody wasn't like watching the studio before or something, it's like this can kind of like put them on their radar for any like future games or something, because it's like, well, I didn't know about your game before, but it's like now I can play it because it's like it's there, it's in my face.
Yeah,
so
I think it's a good idea because it's like an appetizer in between the large games. Of like if you have games to play and like if you have other large games that are free, it's like, well, where are you gonna find the time to play them? But if it's like a small indie game, you can check it out and be like, oh, that's cool. Or like later on in the year when it's like there's just tons of crap coming out and like would you like Assassin's Creed Unity for free? On top of Fallout 4.
I still wouldn't play it for free.
I mean, well, insert game that's Assassin's Creed Unity but not terrible and buggy.
Oh, okay. Then I played that then. Okay.
That's what I meant.
So everything else basically.
Good Assassin.
Man, I just hope the Division isn't all broken. I'm going to be very sad if it is. But it got delayed, so I'm assuming they're not going to let it.
RPG March 8th.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It got delayed to next year to make sure. I'm hoping to make sure it didn't get. It's not buggy and stuff. So.
Well, Batman got delayed, but on PC.
Whoops.
Wow. I wonder how long Iron Galaxy continues to get deals to do these kind of things.
What kinds of things?
Oh, they're the people who ported Arkham Knight to PC.
And didn't they also do Street Fighter for PS4, which was kind of
Wasn't that one? I was like, didn't that get problem too?
Oh no, actually that was a different developer.
Oh.
But they did Borderlands for Vita. Iron Galaxy did.
I didn't play that.
The people who made I Drew a Red Box on Xbox Live Indies.
Is that the name of a game?
Yeah. Or it's most commonly written as hashtag IDARB. They did Street Fighter 4 for PS4.
Oh, okay.
They were the one. They did a super crappy port to PC of Mortal Kombat Collection, I think, or something. Ultimate Mortal Kombat Collection.
I think I'm gonna start like pitching game ideas as a side job, because it seems like no one is saying no anymore. This could work. This could work.
IDARB. Story around that, it's kind of interesting, but it's also, yeah.
Because it's like things like Goat Simulator. How do you pitch that seriously and not have people laugh you out the room and say you're...
That's the thing, like, I don't think these games get pitched. now you can just make them. And if people buy them, then you're just like, whatever. Oh, that was a question I was going to use. I'll just like preview it now, but I don't think we can do it today. But it was like, I was watching Kitchen Nightmares. Have you seen that show?
I have.
So, you know how like Ramsay always tells them their food is bad, and they're always like, no, my food is great. And people like my food because we're still open and people are still coming. Or not now, but they used to. And it got me thinking about like game reviews. Is like, because bad games can't kill you in the way that bad food could, like, would we rather live in the world where like people like Ramsay are sort of the experts, and so there are definitely good games and there are definitely bad games, or would we rather live in the world where you're like the chef that he's berating, in which it tastes fine to me, the game is fine for me? You know, like I was sitting there, I was like in one world everyone can be happy playing whatever, and in the other world perhaps it would become a world where all games get better because we're learning from experts what good games are, and so all games have to be good games, otherwise no one plays them.
But not all games are good games, Tropical. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, like, the standard of gaming of games being made may rise if everyone understands what a good game is.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So it's like, I don't know which world would be better. I guess we kind of live in the world where we're the clueless chefs, where it's just like, it's all good. They're all good.
Sometimes
Well, Tropical, we live in the world of landfill mobile games, so there you go.
Sometimes
So,
blissful ignorance is a good thing.
Perhaps that is like undesirable, and perhaps we would rather live in the Ramsay world where we have experts telling us.
I don't know, because then
raising the level of game literacy, basically.
Because that may not necessarily like raise the level so much as it's like now we just have a bunch of people.
Maybe you just become very
bad. Yeah, just
snobby.
It's like this could go horribly, like quickly.
I don't know. Something to think about. Maybe we'll do that as a question at some point. But for now, we got a late start, and I'm starting to fall asleep, so let us know what you think about that question at aimlesspodcast.com, or comment in the YouTube video of this. I think there's going to be the uncut version and the...
He's not going to edit it.
Non-paused version.
He's just not
the
going to
paused version and the non-paused version.
Yeah, it's the RPG in the paused podcast that was not live. There's like there's stuff missing that's going to be in the YouTube version of like, oh, this kept going. What did they talk about? Live on Twitch.
He's just too lazy to edit it. Is what's funny.
One of them is edited. Anyway, so yeah, those will be somewhere. YouTube and the website, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Anything to say, sorry, before we sign off for RPG?
Now you have to shift gears.
I don't know how. So I don't play racing games.
Okay, well, until next episode, until you see or hear from a skin, I'm not going to end on suspense because I can't think of anything. Aimless Babbie Z, aimlesspodcast.com. We're now sign off.